we continue to look at Credal faith. God has spoken through the prophets. And in the Old Testament, those prophets laying out doctrine for us, not just by their words, though certainly that's important, but by the totality of their being and lifestyle. And we should put it like this. It's not because they're perfect, it's because God has chosen to use them. And today we turn to Isaiah chapter 6, one of those most famous passages of the call of Isaiah. That's going to be important on a number of levels. Firstly, prophets are not self-appointed. True prophets are appointed by God. False prophets are often given that position because they speak the words that the people want to hear. So I'm sure you know the great passage of Isaiah chapter 6, which begins, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw." It's an encounter, it's another vision with God. It's this encounter to see God that one day you and I will have forever. We will be with God. We will see God in the year that King Uzziah died. So it's very located. And King Uzziah had been a long king. He'd reigned for 50 years. He was a good king. However, and here comes the however and the warning for us. It's not how we start that is so important. It is important, but it's how we finish that counts. And Uzziah finished badly. God had so used him, God had so blessed him. He was such a great leader that he became prey to arrogance. And you can read all about this in 2 Chronicles chapter 26. And in that arrogance, he now took to himself that which was not his to take. And you can see the result of that as he takes on a priestly role and goes to worship. How God not only just says, no, you can't do that, but he specifically judges his action. He's out of place and he's now marked, not simply as the good king, but he is marked outside the camp because he is struck with leprosy. Yes, the prophets will warn, and the prophets also point to those warnings. Now Isaiah, like all the prophets, ultimately is pointing to the one who is to come and the one who is to come again. So he sees the Lord in this year when God is acting through the death of Uzziah, through that wrong encounter of Uzziah with the Lord, and as Uzziah is being taken out by God, Isaiah is seeing the Lord. And he has this vision of holiness. He has this encounter of what we might call the otherness of God. And Isaiah is going to be undone. Do we know what it's like to be undone by God? This surely is part of the Christian's testimony. I encounter the Lord, and he has undone me. I am changed forever. And so as he sees the Lord, he is going to hear the Lord. And his response to the Lord is, "Woe is me, I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of unclean people. My eyes have seen God."